then
any
gravity
words
isn't
said.
mass attracting mass like you claimed in your opener then.
It is mass attracting mass.
It literally
No,
isn't.
you did say this. Does a massive object attract another massive object?
No.
No. So what happens when something is pulled towards each other? What do you call that?
Okay, well, it's not pulled towards each other in your paradigm. I'll happily teach you what happens. So supposedly a mass displaces space-time, causes a gravity well, which causes the bending and warping of space-time, which causes objects to basically be guided through the curvature of space-time, free-falling in a geodesic path, still moving linear from their reference frame. There is no attraction. There is no force. There is no pulling. This is archaic, elementary version of gravity that we teach people when they're in middle school. This isn't what your paradigm believes, and it can't be true if you are orbiting the sun.
Give me an example of something pulling something else.
A magnet.
Magnet. So what about it is pulling it?
The force.
Go on. Explain that a little bit more.
Well, okay, technically on a magnet, it's pressure mediation based on the centrifugal divergence and centripetal convergence.
The gibberish again from you, Andrew.
Hey, how is it gibberish?
Sorry.
Which word didn't make sense?
What's it? No, it's not that the words are not words. It's that you don't use them in any usable
Which part of it wasn't usable?
Oh, you want to repeat what you said?
Yeah, centrifugal divergence.
Yeah, go ahead. Explain.
Okay.
Explain it in a way that you think a regular audience would understand.
Okay, so I'll even go really simple for you.
Really simple.
You have a donut, okay? Now we're going to draw the inside of the donut from the inside to the outside. It's going to give us, the lines are going to diverge away from each other. It would be centrifugal, right? Because it's moving out from the center, which is what centrifugal means. Then we have centripetal moving in towards the center, converging. So centrifugal divergence and centripetal convergence are not only not gibberish, they're very simple concepts that are just objective, right?
And
so
yet it's
you
not
asked
needed
me
to
to
explain
magnetism, and then you freaked out when I used a word with 3 syllables in it.
No.
But yeah, it's the pressure mediation. Actually, there's no such thing as magnetic attraction. It's actually accelerating towards the null pressure created by the actual magnetic field itself. But I want to stick on the fact that you can't use Newtonian mechanics, and you were wrong about what you claimed gravity was, because you were very arrogant in your opener about how we know exactly what gravity is, and it's mass attracting mass, and flat earthers just say, nuh-uh, and they have to deny it. You're wrong, my brother. That is not what gravity is in your paradigm. If it was, then the Earth would have to be stationary.
Semantics. This is such a meaningless waste of time to talk about this.
No, actually, it's very important because when you say mass attracts mass, that's from Newtonian mechanics, and that denotes gravity as a force, right? An innate property of matter, right? And that has been disproven in your paradigm. And of course, even if it were true, you would require something akin to an ether. You would need a medium that's actually giving you mutual contact with the bodies, because there is no time variable in Newtonian mechanics or Newtonian gravity, right? So it's instantaneous action at distance, which is why Newton explained, right? He can't even wrap his mind around it. It must be God doing it. And that anyone that would think that it could act instantly through the vastness of a vacuum through long distances, right? Innate brute matter on other matter without a medium in between them it's so great an absurdity that no man with competent faculty of thinking in philosophical matters could ever fall into it. So that is very important, because if you're claiming to know what gravity is, you don't need to denote it as something that's been disproven. That doesn't make any sense. So it is important. You're talking science explains things, physics explains things, math describes things. We're talking about, do you have a viable explanation of physics to tell us that the Earth is a tilted, wobbling, spinning ball flying through space? And the answer is that you do not. So we can't talk about Newtonian gravity. It's irrelevant. You can't have it.
Questions for you. How does scientists, even amateurs, hit the reflectors on the moon that are the size of a boot with lasers from Earth?
Oh, that's crazy, because they claim to have done that before the moon missions. People invoke that as if it's proof that we went to the moon and put a reflector on there, but they claim to have done that before then. They also claim that they get like 1 photon back out of millions every once in a while if they keep doing it. It's just a really cool story, bro. Ask them how they actually differentiated that light from other ones. And if you don't get it millions of times and you get a little bitty one, I'm sorry, I don't believe that you detected a singular photon, which is pseudoscientific reification. Those don't exist. They're actually the intersection of the oscillating electric and magnetic field. They're an event. But anyway, you have to reify the idea of some physical ball coming back from the moon. I'm supposed to believe that. I just want to say it again so the Globers know. They claim to have done that before they went to the moon. So that isn't proof of the moon if they're claiming they did it beforehand, but it's also pseudoscience. They're not actually doing it. It would take a lot more to go specifically into depth as to how false that claim is.
Zinjo's 499 Witsit. You can go there, I assume you mean the Arctic, without approval. They just won't come and save you. Get yourself a boat, dock up, and go explore. Jail is worth proving flat Earth.
That's actually incorrect. It is quite literally illegal, certainly in the United States. Now, what happens is each different country has their own places, but we are looking into going there, okay, and documenting this alleged 24-hour sun. When we don't see it, all the Glovers will have excuses or claim that I lied or whatever, right? But no, you cannot just go there. You have to have permission because you could die, and they don't want you to be able to do that. That's the cover story, and to save the penguins, why you can't fly over it, blah, blah, blah. Just please stop lying about Antarctica. It's super weird. You can't freely and privately explore Antarctica without specific permission. Some of the permits require $250,000. If you actually wanted to privately and freely explore, not what Mr. Beast did, an isolated area where they approved, it costs so many hundreds, and they can still turn you down, no refund. I looked into it and talked to them directly. Okay, so I don't need to hear you guys just misrepresent anymore. It's super weird.
Every single discipline of science, they have to tear it down and they have to say it doesn't exist and it's just a bunch of people making stuff up. And that's the funniest thing about it. And then you got to ask yourself, why are they doing this? What's the motivation?
Explain to you at the beginning of the debate that isn't what we think. It's just you're poisoning the well, and you're saying that we have to believe something that we don't. That's a straw man. And you seem to imply that fallacies don't matter. Yeah, if we have to point out fallacies every time you guys say something, that's a you problem. And if you can't defend that it's not a fallacy, it invalidates your argument. It isn't just a tactic, it's how debates work. So I don't know why you guys have to say everyone in all the scientific fields have to be in on. None of us think that. That's absolutely not true. The vast majority of fields assume the Earth is a plane. Okay? They don't have to account for the Earth being a spinning globe. And then when they model it into that, even in specific isolated fields, not all of them, it doesn't mean that it is, doesn't mean that they're lying, right? They're just trying to model what they believe. Please stop strawmanning us, although in a way I don't care if you do, because like Toby said, using fallacies like that actually create more flat earthers. It's the #1 email that I get.